It was built later in 19th century.
Yeah. Can you show the construction?
So it's for imam. So one imam stood in the middle of this construction and showed the actions which they should repeat after
Yes,
him
yes.
in order to do this synchronically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So-
big mosques, normally it happens like this.
Yeah.
That there is an imam and then there is a second imam who
Right.
would.
It was like this.
It was like this.
Okay. I want to show mihrab niche of the mosque.
What is that?
Mihrab niche, indicator of Mecca. Mihrab.
Mihrab.
Leaves were not allowed as well. That's why for the imam it's not allowed to sit neither on the top nor on the step after the top. And by the steps you can identify the level of imam who is preaching.
It is still working. Do you have prayers over here?
Yes. So it's functioning mosque. This part is for men. At that part, mosque for women. From the word sufa, it's the bench on which Sufis were sitting and propagating this philosophy.
تقبل الله منا ومنكم زيارتكم ان شاء الله. هو الله الخالق والمصور وله الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم ارحمنا بالقرآن العظيم وجعله لنا ونورا وهدى ورحمة. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته القرآن آناء الليل وآناء النهار واجعله حجة يا رب العالمين. اللهم سنزي رحمن ورحيم سن dualarımıza icabet kılıcı Rabbi yolu alemin sen. Seni razı rızanı için okuyan ayet-i mübarekelerimizden, hasıl etken berekatlerden, sevab-ı severlerden, ötmüştür etken peygamberlerimiz, sahabe-i kiramlarımız, ulum müfessir, muhaddis, meşayih aizalarımızla, şu cavaları kılıp topken emir umaralarımızla, mu'min ve mu'minimizle, khasem perverdigarımız Muhammed ibn Muhammed ve Hamdin Nakşibend, Kuddus-u Sürer'in zatı berekatı Allah rahmet eylesin. Aziz mehmanlarımızdan umid-i dağda ötken ecdarlarına, aslan perverdigar Türkiye diyarı perverdigara, tabi afet sebebi perverdigar şehit bölgen şu adalarına Allah'ımıza rahmet kılgeysen, haberlerini Kur'an'da münevver eyleysen, ilahi perverdigar bu cevallarda duaları icabet görüldü, ya Rabbi dualarımıza icabet kılgeysen, yurtlarımızga perverdigar Türkiye'de, perverdigar Uzbekistan belçemizde daima tinchlik, xotirjamlik, amniyatini barqaror qilgaysan. Allohim barchamizni o'zing rozi bo'ladigan xayrli amallarga bardosh qilgaysan. Hali hayotdagi vaqtimizda payg'ambarimiz, rasulimiz Muhammad amin sallallohu alayhi va sallamning muborak sunnatlariga amal qilgan hollarda uni ijro qilish vaqtiga barchamizni muvaffaq aylagaysan. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana va fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Va sallallohu ta'ala ala khayri khalqi Muhammad وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم يا رب العالمين.
Salon, which is translated like under the feet from Persian language. And here you can find great monuments like minaret from 12th century.
This is from 12th century?
Yes, the year when they finished the building of this temple is 1127. Yeah. While the battles wars, they could observe their enemies from the highest, from the top of this tower.
What is this? This is mosque or
Yes, mosque. Yes. Simultaneously with Tabret, Uzbekistan built mosque which was destroyed by Genghis Khan. In 4th century in this place they built another mosque, but as mainly it was made from wood, it was burned down. And in 16th century they built this mosque where we are standing now. Later, I will try one. So in 16th century they built this mosque. So this mosque has classical form of the mosque. So classical form, it means the first mosque which was built like the house of Prophet Muhammad. So when you enter, there are 4 sides, like 4 wings, and they are covered with roof.
Okay.
Here in the roof there are 208 domes which are fixed to 288 columns.
Okay.
And small domes were made for acoustic in order to make the voice of Imam more hearable, because during the Emirate about 10,000 people, men, prayed together.
And this is the madrasa?
Yes, in front of this mosque. Later, madrasa was built during the Shaybanid dynasty. The ruler who ordered to build this madrasa was Ubaydullah Khan. Arab is translated by Prince of the Arabians, and this madrasa was built in honor of the mentor of Ubaydullah Khan, Sheikh Yamani. So madrasa has classical form from one side. So in Bukhara, all madrasas, almost all madrasas, they have the same construction. We call it classical form of madrasa. So when you enter, in front of you appears a wall or a window to the courtyard. Then 2 ways. One way takes you to the mosque, another way takes you to the lecture. Then entrance to the courtyard surrounded with cells. So here the amount of cells 114, like surahs in Quran, like chapters in Quran. And the lecture room is not used as a lecture room anymore because it's the burial place birthplace of Sheikh Yamani. He's made Sheikh Yamani.
Sheikh Yamani is buried over here.
Yes, here. And Ubaidullah Khan, ruler himself, wanted to be buried beneath the legs of his metro. Yes. So Mirara Madrasa was the only madrasa during the Soviet time which was functioning madrasa, and most of the famous muftis who are so in the Russian Federation, for example, they studied here during the Soviet times, and still this madrasa is functioning. Boys after 9th grade, if they pass examination, they can enter and study during the 4 years. After graduation, they took diploma. They take diploma about middle theological education. If they want to continue, they can enter to the Institute of Islam.
Okay.
So I compare
This
this
is-
madrasa with eyebrows of Uzbek dancers. So
Eyebrows of
dancer. Yes, because one madrasa is higher than the second one, like eyebrow of Uzbek dancer. So one madrasa is higher because of cultural stratification. So it's from 17th century, that madrasa from 15th century. So the first madrasa, Ulubek's madrasa, it was built in 1417.
Okay. It was made in 1470.
1417, right. In 1417, by the order of the grandson of Amir Timur, Tamerlan, so he ordered to build three madrasas simultaneously. So two madrasas in Bukhara, one madrasa in It was built by the order of grandson of Tamerlan, Amir Timur, in 15th century. In 1417, they started to build that. So two madrasas are in Bukhara, one madrasa in Samarkand. So first madrasa in the city itself, the second madrasa near the burial place of the one of the holy persons, Abdul Khalid Taimur, founder of Naqshbandiya order. So it's about 40 kilometers from here, and the third madrasa, as I told, it's in Samarkand. Sorry. In Samarkand. So madrasa has classical form. Actually, classical form of madrasa comes from here. So the first madrasa like this was built by the order of Ulubek, and the first colors were blue. First colors of tiles were blue, as you see. On the doors, they changed the doors, but on the doors there is a writing which says, "Education is the obligation of each Muslim and Muslima." So Mirza Ulubek, he took this line from Hadith as a motto for his life, because he wanted them to learn that not only men but also women studied in madrasas. So later, in front of this madrasa from 17th century was built, Abdulaziz Khan's madrasa. But if you pay attention, if you go from the front side, you can see madrasa is not completed. So there is decoration from one side, there is no decoration from other side. Wooden sticks are still here in the curtain, so it's not finished. There are different versions why it is like this. Abdulaziz Khan himself, in the history, he was like an artist. He loved himself, and he wanted to show his greatness. That's why he ordered to build his madrasa in front of the first madrasa like this, prototype, and ordered to make his madrasa bigger and brighter. But his financial conditions became worse because of the war campaign which he took at that times. Or the second version, he died during one of these war campaigns, and that's why he couldn't complete. He couldn't finish
He
the
couldn't
building
complete
of
his
the
building,
madrasa.
and
Right.
it is still incomplete.
Right. If you want, you can visit madrasa from 15th century
Yeah, I think let's go and visit the madrasa from.
and take the photos.
Yes.
Yes.
known as Ulugh Madrasa, was built in Bukhara in 1470 as a joint emblem with Madrasa Abdul Aziz from Isfahan.
Everywhere there are new constructions.
Yeah, now we are inside the madrasa area. So every madrasa over here in Bukhara and Samarkand, it has an open area in between where the students used to sit, and there were dormitories upside and downside for the students, and every madrasa has an open courtyard in between so that they can sit in the evenings and they can have rest and they can have chit chat.
You are yourself typical historian.
Yeah. And these are the small rooms for the students. Let us
Inside
go. Yeah, let
is
us go.
very narrow.
This is the old bazaar of Bukhara.
Originally there were 5 tree windows on 3 open arch. Each tree window had its own destination. For example, the first one under which we're standing now, it's called caravanserais. Don't tourists.
Okay.
They were built in 16th century and they are located in the next and if you pay attention, the dome is high because during the summer where they worked usually so traders to here, it was pleasurable to be under this high dome which kept them from the sunbeams. Yes, and pleasurable breeze was very good for them. As from 4 sides, it's open.
Okay. And the other domes were for which purpose?
Other 2 domes which are not like it's Stockholm and Stockholm where people could find products, so they could find weapons.
Okay. There used to be a big lake.
It's not lake, it's canal.
It's
Yes,
canal inside the old bazaar.
So the Harrods oasis, and inside of the city there were more than 104 reservoirs.
Okay.
They were like pools.
Okay.
And these reservoirs were filled with water with the help of the canal Shahrut. Last
Okay.
canal was Shahrut from 12th century.
12th century.
Yes, till 19th century. But when the ways of canals were destroyed, water in the reservoirs became stable and started to bring different kind of fatal diseases. Then decided to dry out almost all of them and fill it with sand. From 104, 7 reservoirs are survived. We are going to visit one of them. It's located in the Lyab-i Hauz complex.
Over here.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the last place which we will visit.
Okay.